all the information we need, Zach. Let's go back and show them what we found. Have you seen any of these things before?
No, not that I know of. But that raincoat is a little odd.
Odd? In a town where it rains so much?
Well, the people here rarely go out in the rain. I moved here during high school, and I never really understood why. Can you shed some light on this, George?
Oh, well, there's an old story, folklore. It's a fairy tale, to me. Something about a killer in a raincoat who appears on rainy nights. A vicious killer in a bright red raincoat. Yeah, that was it. Just a foolish piece of superstition. A rubbish story someone made up. Not many people still believe it, but I guess it's a traditional place. Most of the shops still close up when it rains. School's out too. And since there's no reason to go out, not many people ever wear raincoats.
And now the raincoat killer has leapt out from his picture book. Oh, by the way, would you two kindly show me your backs?
Our backs? Is this related to the case?
The person with the upside-down peace mark in that photo we found. He's our killer.
And what makes you so sure about that?
Zach and I saw him kill Anna in the lumber mill. He killed her. Right in there. Oh, one thing. Please don't ask me about Zach. That's a private matter. Anyway, by showing me your backs, we can clear up most of my concerns about you. Isn't that for the best? You do want to remove yourselves from the suspect list. It will make things a lot easier.
This is insane. Your methods are rude, insulting, and out of the question. And Emily is a female officer. Forcing her to show you her back is harassment. I don't care if you are FBI or not. You are out of line.
George, it's okay. Let's just show him and get it over with.
Emily, are you crazy?
Look, we flash our backs and he'll start trusting us a little more. Right? Agent York?
Are you satisfied now?
Yes. My apologies.
Now you, George.
Yeah, okay. I can't refuse it now, can I? But don't expect to get your way all the time, Agent Morgan.
George!
What are these scars?
Just like your Mr. Zach. Something private. I don't have to tell you about it.
Of course. Just like Zach. We can understand that, right, Zach? Anyway, this will make things a lot easier from now on. I'm glad to say you're both pretty much off the hook. Thank you for your cooperation.
If anyone is suspicious around here, it's him. He's the most suspicious.
No, I don't think so. But he certainly is the most irritating.
We've studied the crime scene. You know what we have to do next, Zach. George,
Can we arrange to have the townfolk gather in one place? There are some things I want to address with the townfolk.
Very well. I'll arrange to have as many as possible gather in the community center tomorrow.
Thank you, George.
Welcome back, everyone.
Thomas. Agent Morgan, it's past 2100. Let's meet up again at the community center tomorrow. I haven't been sleeping much since this all started, to be honest. I'm exhausted.
I was just about to suggest the same thing.
I'll make arrangements for people to gather between 1500 and 1700. I'll try and get as many people as I can to come, so don't be late. Okay? Don't be late.
I'll be there.
The community center's on the south side. I've marked it on your map.
Thanks, Thomas.
Well then, see you tomorrow.
Speaking of 80s movies, one jewel in the rough springs to mind. Deadly Spawn. Do you remember that one, Zach? Back in '83, directed by Douglas McCown. Right, it was filmed pretty cheap, but still it was pretty good. The monster design with the mouth crammed full of teeth, I loved it. So many delicious B-movie cliches. Did you know that they made a sequel? But I never got to see the sequel. The rental store didn't have it for some reason. They said the staff for the sequel was totally different from the original. Wonder how the sequel turned out. You know, the monster in that one responded to sound.
Wait, Zach. Sounds a lot like the movie Tremors.
I think that one was back in '89, directed by Ron Underwood. Now that was a great role for Kevin Bacon. Masterpiece.
Zach, that one had sequels like crazy. I remember there was a fourth one. I've only seen the first one now.
Tremors. I think Fred Ward was in it. You say Fred Ward, and I say Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins. That one was back in '85, I think. Directed by Guy Hamilton. Guess Hamilton was aiming to start a series like 007, but it had no sequels. Real shame. Do you remember the martial arts they used in that film? Called Sinanju? The ultimate in martial arts, using no weapons at all. Remo's Master Chun ran across water, remember? And he loved soap operas. Man, that was a good character. He was played by Joel Grey, the best supporting actor in Cabaret. Of course, in Remo, he had so much makeup on you couldn't tell. Zach, Emily arranged for people to come between 1500 and 1700.
We can't do anything here right now. Let's come back at the right time.
Joel Gray's daughter is, of course... That's right, Jennifer Grey. You knew that, right, Zach?
Jennifer Grey. She's in one of my most favorite movies, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, 1986, directed by John Hughes. That one was so 80s.
Zach, you're not the most cheerful guy I know. But you really do like those cheerful movies.
We used to love those teenage movies back then, didn't we? Breakfast Club and Pretty in Pink, St. Elmo's Fire, and Fast Times at Ridgemont High. That last one was in 1982, directed by Amy Hector. Now that was an impressive film. You've got Sean Penn in the lead, with Jennifer Jason Leigh and Phoebe Cates, not to mention Nicolas Cage and Forrest Whitaker were in it too. And the original book and the script were written by Cameron Crowe. How could that not be a great film?
You remember, Zach?
When that movie ended, the last words, the end, was from an arcade game. That's right, it was from Missile Command. That stuck in my head for a while. The memories. I feel like I have a lot of movies to catch up on. Let's just hope we can get to the end of this case soon. Then maybe we can catch up on a few.
Give some thought about what movie you want to see next, Zach. Thinking about what movie I'd like to watch next, and finally I've made a decision.
It's always hard to narrow it down just to one movie, but I've put a lot of thought into this, and I'm sure you'll agree with me. 1975, directed by Steven Spielberg himself, the grandfather of panic movies, set in a small town in Massachusetts. That movie made me stay away from the beach for years. I was always afraid that a hand might come floating up. You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah? It's Jaws. The underwater camera work accompanied by that John Williams music. I've never been that scared by a movie before. But the best thing about it is that it isn't just another panic movie. The mayor who won't close the beach even when there are so many victims. Chief Brody putting the citizens' lives above all else. The film gave a lot of time to the dispute and friction between them. It certainly had a lot of messages for a 2-hour film. That's probably another reason why it was such a record-breaking hit. One of my regrets in life is that I didn't see it at the movie theater. I guess I was still just a child back then. But still, I wanted to taste that terror in real time.
That reminds me. Zach, we'll finish our chat later. Let's take a walk around here. Zach, is there something here that you want to check out?
We need to be at the community center by 1500 today. Just think of talking in front of all...
There's always trouble heading my way in this job. But I'm always up for a little excitement, too. There's no theme park in this town, though. All that good luck is just slipping away. But I think I'll have a thrilling enough time right here anyway.
Oh, hi.
Hey, Zach. I've been thinking about what movie I'd like to watch next, and finally I've made a decision.
It's always hard to narrow it down just to one movie, but I've put a lot of thought into this, and I'm sure you'll agree with me. 1975. Directed by Steven Spielberg himself. The grandfather of panic movies. Set in a small town in Massachusetts. That movie made me stay away from the beach for years. I was always afraid that a hand might come floating up. You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. It's Jaws. The underwater camera work, accompanied by that John Williams music. I'd never been that scared by a movie before. But the best thing about it is that it isn't just another panic movie. The mayor who won't close the beach even when there are so many victims. Chief Broden putting the citizens' lives above all else. The film gave a lot of time to the dispute and friction between them. It certainly had a lot of messages for a 2-hour film. That's probably another reason why it was such a record-breaking hit. One of my regrets in life is that I didn't see it at the movie theater. I guess I was still just a child back then. But still, I wanted to taste that terror in real time.
That reminds me, Zach. Did you know this one?
Jaws also appears in another movie that was produced by Spielberg, the second Back to the Future. It was directed by Robert Zemeckis, who later made Forrest Gump. That's also a masterpiece, of course, but we'll discuss that another time. So the scene where Jaws appears is right after Marty McFly goes 30 years into the future. He passes by a movie theater and is attacked by a holographic shark. Marty is shocked, of course, but looking closer, he sees the words, Jaws Part 19. The director is credited as Steven Spielberg Jr. In reality, there were actually only 4 Jaws movies. It was still a great joke. 30 years from 1985 would be 2015. We'll be there pretty soon.
I wonder what life would be like by then, Zach.
Hi.
Hello?
So, what exactly do you want to talk to everyone about?
This case goes deeper than you think. The townfolk may have heard about the murder, but they don't understand it. It's a very dangerous situation, and I need to warn them properly. I hope most of them are decent enough to come.
No problem there. Emily has made all the arrangements.
I've told everyone to gather around between 1500 and 1700.
Great. Reminds me of a film I saw recently. A town is under attack by aliens, and so the mayor calls all citizens to the town hall to warn them.
However, seeing this, the aliens attacked the hall and wiped them all out together.
Is that relevant, Agent York?
The way they kill is fantastic. They used a combination of balloons and meat sauce for exploding heads. Those aliens start firing their death rays and heads start popping. Splat. Really quite something.
Agent York, some of us are trying to eat here.
I know, Emily. I'm one of them. Well, anyway, your cooking is the best, Thomas. Thank you.
Nope, no problem. Zach, we can take a rest if you're tired. Impressive building. Clock tower's impressive too. Zach, I haven't been on stage like this since elementary school. I'm not some tree in the wind this time either. Well, that was a tough role. I was a piece of scenery. Bright red tree.
Thank you, all for coming today. Getting right down to business. Agent Morgan, from the Federal Bureau of Investigations, wishes to speak with you.
Good afternoon. I'm Special Agent Francis York Morgan.
Some of you are already aware by now of the tragic murder of Anna Graham. Truly a heinous, terrible crime. I've come to this town to solve the murder of this young, beautiful girl, and to bring the one responsible to justice. Unfortunately, incidents like these have a tendency to happen